Hi, welcome to Golden Years. I'm Lori Betts, and this month I have a special guest, and we are going to be talking about scams. He knows all about what's going on and how we need to learn and be aware of how we can get snagged. So come on back.
Attention, ghosts, ghouls, and every other creature of the night. Trick-or-treating in the city of Brunswick is October 31st from 6 to 8 p.m. Be safe and enjoy.
After 15 years of smoking, Eva Marie quit. There's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Welcome back to Golden Years. I'm Lori Betts, and my guest this month is Kelly Tremaine, and he is from the Better Business Bureau. And we're going to learn some of the updates, the stuff that's going on in this world that frustrates us daily, and you're going to try to help us nix some of those calls.
I'll do my best.
All right. So thanks for coming.
Welcome. Thanks for having me.
So share with my viewers Better Business Bureau. How did it get started, and how old is the Better Business Bureau?
Better Business Bureau has been around since 1912.
Wow.
So we're considered obviously a legacy business. We've been around a long time. That being said, my initiative I think was formed in 2016, so relatively new in terms of the educational outreach. We've been handling complaints. That's what most people know us for, is complaint, dispute resolutions. You know, helping businesses and consumers, you know, mediate any problems they may have. But our mission is to be the leader in advancing marketplace trust. And part of that means, you know, helping to educate in all the different aspects of, you know, ethics, financial literacy. And a big part of nowadays of what I do is scam prevention, or at least scam education. We haven't done a really good job with scam prevention. But,
I was going to say, how well are you doing the prevention?
Yeah. So it's an uphill battle, but we try. And so that's what I do. I'm a community outreach manager, or whatever you want to call it, coordinator. But I'm out and about in the community to help work with a variety of different people and groups on a variety of different topics. But scam is where I spend probably half my time.
Okay, so let's talk about a scam. And they've been around forever,
yeah,
right?
Since the Nigerian prince days. Remember when he wanted you to launder his money for them back when the internet first started? Probably that's when they first. Not that that's when it's first happened, but that's when you kind of first saw the online integration to scams. But they've been around since you could order things from the operator standing by. You get that, you get the phone calls, and you're taken advantage of, and a lot of people were. So it hasn't changed except for the sophistication and the amount of scams and the dollars lost.
That's just amazing, just amazing. How do they come up with these scams? I mean,
a lot of it has to do with what's going on. So, for example, you know, Morocco had an earthquake. I'm sure there's scams out there in terms of Moroccan relief efforts, right? We saw it with Ukraine, in terms of, you know, people, legitimate people, you know, advertising for support, but with those legitimate people also comes the scammers. So fake charity websites, stock market crashes or dips. We'll see cryptocurrency investment opportunities to try to lure people to give them money on investments that are supposedly low risk, high reward, right? That doesn't work. That's not the scenario. Baby formula shortages, breeders that had pets during the pandemics. Couldn't find pets. All those happen to be timely, and scammers are very good at playing on what's happening in the economy, in the world, and developing scams that are associated with it. So they're very sophisticated. They're very good at what they do. So it's not just aimed at a poorly educated individual. You know, people of all educational status are getting scammed. You know, 1 out of 10 of us, as the statistics has been or will be scammed. So yeah, it's an uphill battle, but one that education is the way we're trying to combat it.
Okay, so I was just credit card scam. I was just tapped last week because I got my bill, And the credit card company was wonderful. I mean, they believed every word I said. And I said, well, thank you for believing me. And he says, no, we need to know. We have to nip this right away, all these crooked people that are out there. You know, he said, you're the customer. You're coming to us with your credit card issue. It said that I went to, I don't even know they existed, a new bookstore in Strongsville. And I spent $460. And I said, I have no idea where this place is, and I have no idea because I don't read books.
Yeah. It might not even been a bookstore. It might have just been doing business as to appear on your credit card statement. You might have thought it was a bookstore, so you might have kept that. There's a lot of reasons they can set up different names of businesses to try to get past you noticing these things. But to your point, credit card companies are affected greatly. So it's in their best interest to look after us. That's why when you use a credit card, in a fashion that's untraditional, they'll call you and say, did you use that credit card there? It's not following your normal pattern.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they'll do that. Or they just came out with, everyone is starting to get the new cards with the chips in them that you tap instead of sliding. You see that little chip?
Oh, yeah.
Those are encrypted, more secure. So the skimmers are almost, you can't skim those cards, which was a big part of, those gas stations where you put in your card and it steals your card numbers. It's almost impossible to steal the information off that chip. So the credit card companies know, because they have fraud protection, they're paying a lot of these bills. They want to protect that. So we have Scam Tracker, which is on our site, which has been there for, I think, 15 years. We upgraded it last year, and we partner with Amazon and Capital One, which is a credit card. And the whole purpose is to help reduce that, because they get charged so much and they have to pay people back so much. So we're trying to work together on that part. But yeah, credit card fraud is big. It's the number one form of, it's the least, I say, dollar amounts lost. So the average is, I think, is $89 or $88 lost in a credit card scam, where the average is $171 overall. But it's the number one way the scammers scam us, because we're used to paying things in credit card.
Yeah.
But they would much rather have us use a wire transfer or a debit card or Venmo or PayPal, where their average loss is $500 or $600 because it's non-traceable. But credit cards are going to remain. We're used to paying everything on credit cards, and they'll figure a way around the chip. And one of the ways they do that is to charge us, and we buy things, and we still get our credit cards compromised, and credit card companies pay for it, and we go on and get a new credit card and still do the business we used to do. So.
That's crazy. I mean, my husband would call me up and say, okay, your Amazon order is stuck at UPS. And I said, well, it could stay there forever because I don't do Amazon. And I'm like, well, how do they even create that email to assume the person's going to jump on it?
Well, Amazon is the number one impersonated company out there. Wow. So if people haven't got that Amazon email yet that says there's a problem with your Amazon order, click here to verify it. One, you should never click on any link that comes in an email, because it's easily for that scammer to redirect you to a site that looks like Amazon, but is not Amazon. So if you scroll over the name in the bar, it'll look kind of weird, or say Amazon spelled wrong with a bunch of numbers, but it'll look like an Amazon page. So these, it's not hard to create a web page or a landing page that looks real, and all it's doing is grabbing information. So what do you have to do? You put in your username, you put in your password. So now they have your username, password. You already have credit cards stored in there, so they have your credit card information. They order things, they set up a new address, they have it delivered, they resell it, they take money. So it's very easy for them to do. And the internet is a very low cost of entry for these scammers. It doesn't cost anything for them to be there, so they can send out a lot of information. And all they need is a few responses to make money on it, because it really doesn't cost them anything to do.
True.
And they get money. So Amazon, the Postal Service, Geek Squad, Medicaid, IRS, those are the top impersonated companies out there, because we trust them, we'll click on them more likely, and that's how they get us lured in, because we think we're dealing with a legitimate company, and we're not.
That is unbelievable. So what are the hot scams out there now for senior citizens?
The hot scams, romance scams are and it sounds like everyone says romance scams. How could someone do that? Well, romance scams is a broad topic. It's not just romance or relationships, finding that significant other. It's also in book clubs, religious groups, any type of group or situation where you have common interests that you eventually get to know someone, or they pretend to get to know you more so. So you have this relationship now, it's more trusting. So if I'm in a knitting group, for example, you know, I get a message from someone, and I understand you like knitting. Here, have you tried this? Or you like this? You like that? You start getting that relationship, and you start conversing back and forth. And what happens is that person eventually asks for money for something. You know,
yeah, okay.
I'd love to get together and exchange ideas. And the romance issue is, you know, I'd love to finally get together with you, but you know, my money's tied up. My kids are sick. I could need some money, and eventually they start asking for money, and you trust this person. You ended up giving them money. So we lose $15,000 to $25,000 on a scam, and Ohio is number 5 in the country in terms of that worst. So where there's,
oh my goodness,
there's a lot of others. So that's one of the scams. The other one is the grandparent scam.
That's
which is
still
now
around?
People are still aware of it, but it's with the artificial intelligence and the voice recognition, they're able to clone voices now.
How do they do that though?
It's beyond my expertise, but one, we put a lot of information on social media, so they know a lot about us just by putting out bots and spiders and these things that scour the internet and find the information, and then they use some of these voice recognition software systems, so it sounds like your son, your daughter, your grandson, your granddaughter, or whatever, and people are falling for that. They pressure them. And we don't make good decisions under pressure, and next thing you know, we give them a gift card, or we give them our bank account, we wire them money, and that money's gone. So those are the two main things. Those are the biggest scams out there for seniors that are happening, that we have to be careful of, because seniors get taken for more money.
Oh yeah.
So the average loss in a scam is $171, I think, this year. It's up a little bit from last year. Once you get to the 65 plus area, it's now $300 to $1,300, depends on how far up you go in the scale. So seniors have more things usually, so the scams are bigger in nature, and they're not as typically as technologically literate sometimes, or they're more apt to click on something they're not supposed to, or be trusting. So they believe when someone says you won something, and you know, all you need to do is pay for some legal fees, or just give me your bank account number and I'll deposit that for you. And they do it. And we need to be careful of those things too.
Really?
Those are the big ones out there.
Yeah, because you can't believe anybody.
No. Now, trust is a big issue. And, you know, I say I'm not from Ohio, but I've been here 6 years now. Ohio comes from, you know, good Midwestern values, trustworthiness. And I think that's why sometimes we rank higher in some of these scams, because unlike where I come in the Northeast, we don't trust anyone. Here we trust people.
Yeah.
You know, we're used to handshakes, and someone says they're going to do something, we do it. They do it. They don't do it. You know, they're not reading the fine print. They sign up for offers that don't realize they're a great offer, but there's recurring charges of $80 a month that's going to hit a credit card. They didn't read fine print. Well, you know, trust me, you don't need to read the fine print. This is what it is, and we go down that hole. So, to your point, yeah, it's hard to say you can't trust anyone, but you have to do due diligence.
Oh,
I told
you do.
Senior
You
Center
do.
was it yesterday. Even if it's your neighbor's child, you know, it doesn't mean they're going to tell you the truth. You know, it's yes, I'll mow your lawn, and yes, you can trust them for a certain part. It's like, where's that risk factor fall? What's the dollar amount look like? You know, once you get to a point, you're spending thousands, and you know you're paying for someone to do structural work or landscape work. And trust me, just give him the money. He needs the money now. It's not the right thing to do, even if you might trust them, because a lot of times it comes back to bite you, whether it's intentional or not. It happens.
And like you said, well, we're going to take a quick break because we got more questions here. So come on back and listen to Kelly's good tips, because you could blink and you could be scammed. So we'll be right back.
There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey.
Welcome back to Golden Years. I'm interviewing Kelly from the Better Business Bureau, and he is sharing some tips with us to keep us from being scammed, because it's happening all day long, every day, and you just can't trust everybody anymore.
No.
So my viewers, can they go on your website, and do you have helpful tips on? Is it user friendly, the website?
We do. It's bbb.org is our website, and it's what they call geolocated. So it'll pull up we cover 6 counties, so most likely you're going to end up on our Better Business Bureau site. But if you are in Cleveland or Columbus or Toledo, it will go to their site. But yeah, it's easy to navigate. You can go to our marketplace initiative if you want to request a speaker, or they have a ton of different information on scam trackers on the top of the website. Has all different information in terms of types of scams. You can search it, you can look for it. You could share it on your social media if you were scammed, or even if you didn't lose money, you knew it was a scam, you can report it to help others. So yeah, we encourage people to do that, because realistically, education is the way we help stop the scam. It's harder and harder to catch these people. So I find education is to stop it from happening before it begins. And our scam tracker tool, which has been there for a while, has really helped people in terms of our surveys we've done prevent from being scammed. Because the more you know about it, the more if it's too good to be true, you hear that enough times, you got to take a step back. And as soon as you take that first step back, you've eliminated that chance of being scammed greatly, right? Because we're not acting impulsively.
Good point. And you also said too that a lot of people are doing stuff on their cell phones. So is a cell phone an easier target?
It's the target. It's just an extension of the internet. Where we used to have the desktop computers, back in
the day,
with a big monitor, and then it moved to a laptop, and now people really don't even use laptops that much. They're going to tablets and their smartphones. I think 80 or 75% of seniors, I think, own smartphones, somewhere around that number.
That high?
So, and I'm using this from memory, so I might be off a little bit, but there's 6.9 billion smartphones in the world. So there's a lot of them out there. So scammers, yes, they've figured out ways to try to drive information on our phones. Not only by our browsers we use on our phone, but they're coming more and more over text messaging. So winning the lottery, thank you for paying your bill, click here and win a Costco gift card. Those are all happening on our phones and our different devices, because that's what we're using. So they're going to figure out a way to get to us where we're surfing, where we're shopping, and where we're doing things, and that's the phone.
Yeah, that is scary to begin with.
Yeah, and it's small. We can't read it.
You can't read it.
Yeah, we're doing other things as we're on it, which is all going against in terms of paying attention. So we're more likely to be scammed because we're not paying attention.
I don't do a lot on the cell phone, because like keeping passwords and everything, because that's easy to leave your phone somewhere.
Yeah.
And someone can just pick it up, and they could just have a free.
It is. You keep your wallet in there now with all your credit cards, and if you have password protection, it's usually pretty good. And but there's a risk. So yeah, if you're prone to lose your phone a lot, then don't keep a lot of stuff in that phone.
Exactly. Oh my. Now you had mentioned a point that you go out and you do bingo scams. You play bingo?
I play scam bingo, fraud bingo, I guess. Yes. So we've done quite a few of those games in our different senior living facilities and centers. So yeah, I do a lot of fraud presentations too. So don't get me wrong, it's 45 minutes to an hour, talk about the different scams. Bingo just makes it a little lighter and a little more, more lively and fun. It's usually I'll do a scam presentation to a facility, and 3 or 4 months go by, and I might do scam bingo as a refresher. Where I pull a card and pull a number, and then it corresponds to a different scam or a tip. So we talk about it a little bit, and it's interactive, and we give away gift cards. So that's always a fun part. So, but yeah, anything to help educate, I'm open to try different things.
Accredited charity. What does that mean?
We have Wise Giving Alliance is our charitable arm. That's our national side. So they help. Not rate the charities, they help define what an accredited charity is. An accredited charity actually has to meet certain standards. So I think there's 20 standards out there. It's based on board governance, transparency in terms of books, and a lot of different different other standards. But once they meet those qualifications, people like you and me are consumers that want to give money to places, have a place to go to see if they're accredited and make sure they meet those qualifications. One, they're legitimate, and two, they are doing what you want them to do in terms of why you're giving the money to this charity. So we have about 35 local charities that are accredited with us now, and we're always looking for more. So if you're a charity and you want to be accredited, all you have to do is apply, which means call our offices and say you want to be accredited. It doesn't cost as much. I think there's probably a cost to it, and I'm not sure what that is, but it's minimal if there is one. There may not even be one, but it's just a way to help consumers get past some of those charities that are not real. You'll see them a lot. I get asked them a lot, for police offices. A lot of police offices.
Are those fake?
They might. Some are fake, some are not. Some are unions. They go through a third-party telemarketing company. I know because I used to work for one when I was in high school. It was legitimate, but we worked on behalf of a police union, blah, blah, blah. And it loses impact every more person you got because they have to pay people. And some of them might not be legitimate, some might be. So, it's hard to tell. So if you go to a charitable, like a United Way, that's why people go to those bigger organizations, because they distribute money. They've already vetted them out. Right. Well, we help take that step as well, as we try to vet those charities to make sure they meet certain qualifications to show.
So hang up on the police that call.
Yeah, I don't want to say hang up on the police because I'll get in trouble with my police accounts. But if you really want to give to the police or an organization, that go to the police office directly and give to them. Nothing against police unions at all. Just make sure if you want to give to a police union, you give to that union. It's going to that union, not a telemarketing company on behalf, or you really know that company's working for them, because it's deceiving.
It is, yeah.
It's hard
when you get that phone call, they're not your best friend on the other
during
end.
Political season, you're getting emails and calls and letters and stuff about, Republican, Democratic, Independent, all these different PACs that may or may not be legitimate. So you really have to try to vet them out if you really want to give money. And then once you give money, you're obviously on that list to get a lot more, because
why does that happen?
So, because they sell information. So they share information. So, it's like when you give you give money, you sign up for something. It's a marketing effort. They share your information to help your marketing experience. In a perfect world, if I got information forced to me that I was interested in, it wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. If I sign up for marketing messages, I go on Amazon, I want to buy a pair of shoes, and all of a sudden in my Facebook feed, I get a lot of ads for shoes. That's a marketing ploy.
Oh, yeah.
It's fine if it's what I'm looking for. So that's when it gets annoying, is when I share my Amazon account with my wife and 2 adult daughters, and I get information and stuff that I really don't need. That's when it doesn't work out. But so long answer to your story, there's accredited charities that you want to, if you really want to give, make sure you vet them out first and
that's a very
give
good
the appropriate charity.
Very good point, yeah.
Because they'll pop up, like I said, whatever's happening in the world, there's a charity that's looking to benefit from it, which is good, and then there's a scammer looking to pretend to be that and take money from you.
So how about Facebook? Are there scams that happen on Facebook?
Facebook is a scammer's dream in terms of ease of taking information. It's one of the easiest social media platforms to steal passwords and identity for. Don't ask me why. It's just a public knowledge. That's the research that came out. And it's a lot of people spend a lot of time on Facebook. True. It's easy to market on. It's not as policed as you might think, because it's so big. Yeah. They can't police and regulate all their marketplace people, and that's where a lot of the scams are happening, is on the marketplaces. So if you go out and you want to buy a refrigerator, you want to buy a PlayStation, you want to buy anything, you can look on Facebook Marketplace, and there's probably someone that has it for sale. Mm-hmm. A lot of those are legitimate, but a lot of them aren't legitimate. I had a friend who was, a colleague at a different organization that we work in similar fields, try to buy a refrigerator, and she got a Facebook message, or she was dealing with what she thought was a Facebook friend, Venmo'd money to that friend, and then later found out it wasn't the friend, it was a cloned Facebook account, and she just gave that scammer the money for the refrigerator, and of course never got the refrigerator.
And the money's
gone. So it came out of the Venmo account. Once it's gone, it's gone. So we really have to make sure you're smart. You don't give the money ahead of time. You meet in a public place, but don't give all the money ahead of time. If you don't know them, I would say don't invite them to your house with no one there to pick up a product. Meet at a third-party place. Police offices, a lot of police offices will let you transact there.
Okay, that's good.
You don't want people coming to your house that you don't know.
They'll search it out
without someone else knowing that someone's coming over. So you just want to do your homework. There are a lot of legitimate ones, but that's the marketplace side. The other Facebook side is your information. You're putting up a lot of information on there, and a lot of that is used to steal identity. It's also used if anyone's gotten that Facebook friend request that you already have a friend of. That means you've been hacked or they've been hacked, and you hit accept, and now your Facebook feed and your friends are now available to that scammer. So it's a way for them to build more people to go after. And then you get a message, this is a long lost friend, and they just wanted to catch up with you.
That's why I'm
And you
not
start
on
conversing,
Facebook.
and then you realize this might not be who I think it is, but in the meantime, you've already accepted their friend request. They've gotten into your Facebook page, and they're starting to send out messages to your friends to try to get their information. Most people don't even know there's privacy settings for Facebook. So you set your privacy settings so only your friends can see information. It's a default setting for public because Facebook wants the information for marketing purposes, but you can make that private, as well as any app you can pretty much make private. But you want to be careful, obviously, what you post.
Correct.
If you don't want it public, I always say to everyone I speak to, if you don't want everyone to see it, don't post it, because even though it might be private, there's people that are smart. If they really wanted to get at certain information, they probably could. So don't want it public, don't put it out there. And so it makes you think a little bit about it.
Oh, yeah. So to be safe in today's world, you have to live in a bubble.
Yeah, pretty much, no.
Okay. Any advice for my viewers?
I don't want to paint the gloom and doom picture. I say that all the time. I do online safety is one of the ones. It's just how to use the medium. It's a great tool because it allows us to talk to a lot of people and to share experiences and to really get along with those people that have similar interests than we do. We never had that. You're able to talk to people no matter what your interests are, what groups you might want to be involved with. So it's great. We just have to be careful in terms of making sure we're speaking to who we're speaking to. We're going to the sites that are appropriate, and we're not clicking on links and being redirected. And if we are, we realize that and we cancel it. We clear our history of our computer once in a while. That makes it run faster and deletes a lot of the malware opportunities. We download software, patches. So when you get those safety patches from Microsoft or from Apple that says your computer is ready for an update and it's legitimately from your computer, you download that safety because it uploads safety protocols. And if we do those things, we don't answer the phone if we don't recognize the phone number.
Yeah, right.
And if it's too good to be true, we don't act on it.
Yeah.
We can really use these technologies and tools to more fulfill, to be fulfilled and be happy and do a lot of fun stuff. Yeah. So it's not all gloom and doom.
Just be aware.
Just be aware. And if you're not, I always say, ask for help.
Yeah.
If you don't know the answer, if you don't think something's right, call someone, ask someone. There's no harm in, there's no stupid question, does this pop-up look real, or does this sound right? Yeah. Because some of the scams, after we hear about them, that person did what? They went to 6 different locations, bought gift cards of different denominations and gave them to this person. And it sounds ridiculous, but when you're in the moment, or if you're under pressure, or there's, fear or flight, you don't think clearly. And so stepping back and asking that question, you help a lot.
Kelly, thank you for all the wonderful tips you shared with us today. And I hope my viewers enjoyed the show and you learned a few things, and just be aware. So thanks for joining us this month, and we'll see you next month.